Howdy parters, it's so good to be here again, as always. I've been very patiently waiting to watch this film, I'm Still Here. No, not that weird Walking Phoenix film, which I did initially mistake for when my friend introduced me to this film. They were like, what are you talking about? No, we're talking about a very different film. This is a film from Brazil. And even though I had to wait quite a while for it to come out here in Montreal and to eventually see it, it was well worth the wait and quite the emotional roller coaster ride. In fact, I literally needed a day or two to just process the emotions I was going through. And in the meantime, we had a gigantic snowstorm here in Montreal. We literally got like 40 or 50 centimeters of snow in one day. But that is neither here nor there. This is a film that is very much based on a true story. And in fact, it is an adaptation of a memoir written by none other than Marcelo Rubens Paiva. And the film gets its title from this book, which is also called I'm Still Here. And Marcelo is the young boy, the youngest of the children in this family that you see portrayed in this film. The story starts off in 1970 Brazil in the beautiful city of Rio de Janeiro, and we follow the story of this family, this pretty big family frankly. They have 5 children, they have a maid, and they live in this idyllic home by the beach. And I have to say their home is just as much of a character as anyone else in this family. But no matter, immediately we get the sensation that there's a very strong sense of respect, trust, and love in this family. Frankly, it's quite beautiful to witness. And though the beginning has this really short, plotless segment of the film, it serves as a very important emotional foundation for the rest of the journey. For this otherwise normal and very progressive family that is just trying to live their life in peace. That is before it is torn apart by a violent totalitarian government that is in power at that time. I mean, could you imagine this kind of experience in your life? Where one day these men just come into your home and you don't know if they're policemen, military men, they are not forthcoming with any information whatsoever. And here they come to your home, darkening your doorstep with this oppressive shadow. And then they go take your father away. Without any context whatsoever, mind you. What did he do? Why is he going away? Where is he going? For how long? With whom? Nothing whatsoever. Just this shark-eyed, cold, blank stare in your face. And all they have to say is, he has questions to answer. That's it. There are a lot of standout moments in the film, and I'm not going to spoil all those details for you. You guys should go check out this film for yourselves. But I think one of the most remarkable moments for me in the film that really resonates deeply in my soul is how the father approached this situation. I think right from the start he knew, okay, this is it. This is the last time I'm going to see my family. And rather than reacting in fear and paranoia, he did the very opposite. He acted only out of love. He made sure that his last interactions with his family, whether it be his wife or his children, was nothing but love. And that last look in his eye of just this gratefulness, this thank you in his eyes for everything he was able to experience with his family. Yeah, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it myself. And let me tell you, I was not the only one crying at the cinema. And I was crying through quite a lot of the film. The whole row, we were all sniffling and just cuddling with each other. Well, I was alone there. I wasn't cuddling with strangers. But this was an emotionally daunting film to sit through in one shot. And the kind of courage and resilience it takes to just behave in such a manner in the face of evil. Oh my god. And those qualities can be echoed just as much in Fernanda Torres' character, who plays Eunice, the mother of the family, and she gives a standout performance. And I think one of the best qualities about that performance is that there's a very subtle way that she delivers the emotions. Because on one hand, kind of like the father, she has to hold back a lot of those emotions that she is living through. I mean, it is her husband and an inseparable part of her life. The relationship they had was something beautiful. But her job at that moment was to make sure that her children are protected from the fear that could very well consume their souls. While at the same time also showing us, the audience, that she is very much stressed, confused, and terrified by what is happening here. Because there is a very real danger. Yeah, that danger was very real indeed. And they were not the only family who suffered in such a way. And the kind of suffering they had to endure, because not only were individual people taken away, tortured, and in many cases killed, or in some undefined state, but then the family themselves, they are left in this unending mental anguish of just, where is my husband? Where is my father? Where are they? Will I ever see them again? While knowing deep down inside that they probably will never see them again. This really was a painful and emotional watch. Putting the emotional side of the film aside for a moment, which is kind of impossible if I'm being honest. But aesthetically, I do love what they achieved in this film. The set decoration of the home is quite lovely, and it was very period appropriate. I felt very much like I was in the 70s. But I think aesthetically, the quality that stands out the most for me is the lighting, because the first part of the film starts off very bright, sunny, this idyllic beachside home, with this home that's just bustling with life, energy, love, and laughter, and there's just this light that's shining through. And then there's a transition when these men enter their home, they invade their property, and that moment where they start shutting the blinds, and there's this shadow that just starts creeping into this otherwise beautiful home, and it becomes this prison of uncertainty and confusion and tension. It is a dramatic transformation, and it's not the last time that the home undergoes this kind of aesthetic iteration. Once again, the home is just as much a character as anyone else from this film, and it's something that I really appreciate. But yeah, this was a very bittersweet experience because the kind of justice you get is not really ideal in any way. I mean, it's something, I guess. It took 25 years to get a death certificate. At least there is this kind of conclusion to some sense, which is heartbreaking to say the least. And I do find it incredible, after having watched the film, I did learn that the government in Brazil did try to boycott the release of this film, claiming that the totalitarian dictatorship that is portrayed in this film never really happened. Yeah, hard pass on that. We are not buying that kind of bullshit at all. But even as heartbreaking as this film undoubtedly is, I walk away from this film having this sense of this enduring family values, this hope, this resilience and love that is still at the very core of it all. It's what held this family together through these incredibly trying times. And of course, I'm not going to spoil any narrative details, but it is an interesting anecdote that I think is worth bringing up that kind of goes a little bit behind the scenes. So in the last leg of the film, there is this moment where we see a very old version of Eunice. And I initially thought that this was just an impressive use of makeup on Fernanda Torres because it did look a lot like her, but it's not her. It's actually her real life mother. So I thought that was a very cute and endearing little detail. And as a final note, Eunice herself turned out to be a pretty incredible woman. Not only did she have the kind of resilience that would make the Stoics themselves proud, but she also became quite the academic and became this expert on indigenous rights and ended up serving the UN and other government services for quite a while. So it's quite a remarkable achievement and a hell of an inspiration for the ages. So as you can tell, this is an incredible film. I'm ranging anywhere from a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. I also do want to highlight that I went to see this film at the Forum in one of their big theater rooms. And we had a full house that evening for an international Brazilian film. And not only were we all bawling our eyes out throughout most of the film, but at the end of the film, after the credits, there was a round of applause from everyone. And as well, the film is nominated for 3 Oscars for Best Picture, Best International Film, and Best Actress in the Leading Role. And I also learned in the credits of the film that the music was composed by none other than Warren Ellis. Are you kidding me? Hell yes. As brutal as this film was, this was an incredible film that is absolutely unmissable. And yet another reminder to the power and purpose of the art of cinema, to immortalize these kind of important storylines, because this isn't fiction, this is real life, and it happened not too long ago, not too far away, and we live in very strange dystopian times indeed. This is a time of turmoil and change, and who knows what is coming next. God forbid that we find ourselves in these kind of situations, but these kind of stories are important to remind ourselves that, hey, we should not take our life and our family and friends for granted. So with all that being said, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best, and happy Valentine's Day. I do think it's unintentionally appropriate that I'm recording this video on Valentine's Day of all days to talk about this kind of brutal, heart-wrenching film. It is in many ways the story of enduring love in some sense. So take care, enjoy yourself, spend some time with your loved ones. If you don't have a romantic partner, take some time for yourself. Send you all, whatever your situation is, a Mount Everest-sized asteroid of love your way. Alright, enough for now. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye now.